So in this lesson, I'd like to talk you through a particular technical exercise that has been a favorite and a staple of my practice routine for upwards of 15 years now. It's something I use every single day. I use it as part of my warm-up. I also use it more intensively if I feel like my basic level of technical fluency, command of the instrument, string crossing, needs some work. So it is an absolute go-to for me. The reason why I like it so much is that it works all four fingers of the fretting hand, and it's a pretty good workout for the plucking hand also, because you've got string crossing, string skipping. It's a lot of things within the same exercise. I'm a huge fan of exercises which do more than one thing at once. Exercises like that can really help to streamline your practice routine, make everything more efficient when you can get more done within a single thing. So it's based around a 4-note diminished cell, which then goes across the strings. So it's a 3-string cell that then repeats. So a diminished arpeggio over 3 strings starting on G would be G, B flat, D flat, E. So those are the 4 notes within our first cell. But instead of working on them in order, it works on them in descending pairs. So it's 2 minor thirds descending. So the first one is B flat to G. The second one is E to D flat. So that's our cell. That exact same cell then repeats starting a string higher. So instead of starting on the B flat, we'll now start on E flat. E flat to G, A to F sharp. Okay, so if I play those 2 cells back to back, so you notice within that, all 4 fingers on the fretting hand are being worked. Not only that, we're working them in pairs that aren't consecutive. So it's not 1, 2, and 3, 4. It's 1, 3, and 2, 4. Now on the plucking hand, we've got string raking and then string skipping. So string raking and string skipping, both very useful things to be working on the plucking hand. At the very top of the sequence, we would then move up a half step and descend through a 4-note diminished arpeggio. So there we've got B flat to G, A to E to C sharp, F to D, B to G sharp. So you've got 2 4-note diminished arpeggios, one on top of the other. So those are then in sequence. Instead of in descending pairs, you've got 4 notes in sequence. So the whole thing flows quite nicely. You would then move up another half step and repeat the sequence over. So if I play this for you, and remember below you will have some tab and notation so you can follow along with this as well. So if I play the entire sequence, ascending, and then up a half step, descend. Then you move up 1 half step and repeat the entire thing. Once you start to see these as particular patterns and as shapes, the whole thing will start to click much better. Because that's how I see it. I'm seeing these as a series of shapes and sequences moving across the fingerboard. So then you move it up, excuse me, 1 half step. You start on C to A, G flat to E flat, F to D, B to G sharp. Then move up a half step, 4-note, 2 4-note descending diminished arpeggios. Then up another half step, and the sequence repeats. And so on and so forth. I like to work it all the way up the bass neck and then back down chromatically. So I won't take it all the way up the bass neck, but what I will do is work up with the metronome. So I'll have the metronome set at 80 BPM. As always, I'm using Pro Metronome, free app, fantastic metronome to use and download. So I'll do this in eighth notes, starting at 80 BPM. So let's do this together. Now, a couple of little slips that I made there. First of all, one of my shifts wasn't quite clean, and I got some fret buzz. Second, once towards the top, I accidentally turned it into a chord. You want to make sure that you're bringing the finger off and killing the string so that it doesn't turn into a chord or double stop. Just a little caveat there. Now, if eighth notes is too fast at the moment, if this exercise is brand new to you, let's reduce that to quarter notes. Let's take that down. Again, still at 80 BPM, I'll do it up to 5th fret, this time with quarter notes. So if eighth notes, if that was too fast, let's reduce it. 1, 2, 3, and. One other little technical point to make with this exercise. When I'm working on this right down at the bottom of the neck in first position, my thumb is not welded to the back of the bass neck. So your thumb, I mentioned this in other videos, your thumb should always be mobile. It should never be stuck on the back of the bass neck. So what's happening is that when I'm, for example, moving from the B flat to the G, my hand is moving very slightly there. My hand moves, so the thumb, my thumb has moved from about there, now it's about here when I'm landing on the G. Also, when I move a little bit further up the bass neck, my thumb still isn't stationary. What it does is it pivots slightly on the back of the neck. So if it feels like a stretch, if it's really kind of pushing it, micro shift. This is crucial, especially my hands are not the biggest. Unlike some bass players out there that have the hands the size of dinner plates, my hands are quite small. They're really not that big. So micro shift. If you're feeling like there's a lot of tension all the way down the back of your hand going into the wrist, shift, micro shift. Don't let that tension build up. So micro shift along the bass neck. It will make a world of difference to your fretting hand stamina. Thanks so much for checking out this lesson, guys. If you would like to see a full extended version with some additional stuff, you can click the link to my website down there in the description. You'll also find an ever-increasing transcription vault. I'm releasing a couple of transcriptions a month. You'll also find articles that I've written and a whole lot more. So like I said, link down there in the description. See you soon.